Good evening, lovely spirits. It's the wise servant here, Mr. Solace. Peace and wisdom. Now, today I want to engage in this very deep video called Message from the Sun, the star up above. And it's a very deep video. All the knowledge in this video I received directly from the sun, as well as all the other life forms, but mainly the sun. So all the content in this video is basically a message from the sun. The whole lesson is from the sun to all of you. Now, I know some people are saying, you can't get a message from the sun. The sun doesn't speak. And it's a very deep thing you have to grasp. It's all about understanding. You understand the words that you're hearing now because you speak my language. A person who can't speak, they can understand signs. They can read lips. So my point is, all in life is living, and it's all about understanding the language of communication. So it's truly a simple thing. But the main problem is we don't view all things in the life as living. So this is the problem. But this is life. And all things that are a part of life's movie, so to say, are alive, are living. So the sun up above, as well as the moon, these are living things in the life. And people have to grasp this. Now, if you follow me, you know that I watch the sun rise as well as watch it set mostly every day. This is like a ritual or a routine of mine. I watch the rising and the setting of the sun. I'm aware of that. That is something that I acknowledge in life. That's an important thing that we should do on a daily basis. Rise and set with the sun if you can. Now, I've noticed during my few years of watching the sun rise and set now that the feeling of it changes. Not just the time, but the feeling. The different seasons, the setting and rising of the sun has a different feel. So not just the time changes during the season makes the feel different, but the actual feel of the rising and setting of it, it feels different as the season changes. So it's fall now, and the rising and setting of the sun does not feel the same to me as it did in the summer. And it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. Life is all feeling. Feeling is the language, the universal language of communication. Feeling, emotion. This is energy. This is feeling. We know energy manifests into all different aspects of life, whether physical, meaning organisms, physical things. It also manifests into emotions like love, hate, anger. And these emotions, they manifest into physical actions or acts. So it is your emotions that cause you to do certain deeds. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. But emotion, or better yet, feeling. Feeling is the universal language. And it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Feeling is energy, and energy is vibration. In vibration, this is a universal feeling. All understands vibration, the feeling of it. So it's a deep thing. Like words. Words are not physical. But you feel them. If I say certain things to you, you feel it. Certain music, the words, it brings a certain feeling to you. So I just want you to get an aspect of what I mean by life is all feeling. In the universal communication is a feeling thing. You have to feel deeply. But it's like with babies. Babies can't talk, but they can communicate with their mother. The mother understands the baby understands the mother. There's no words. There's no single language that they share, yet they understand one another. And it's feeling. They're connected through the feeling. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. With feeling, you can get so much more from feeling than you can get from words. It's a deep thing you have to grasp. Young children, like 3, 4, they're new to language. Their senses are still heightened on feeling. So the words you say to them, it doesn't register as much to them as the feeling, your emotional state. We kind of cut our feelings off. Once we begin to hear and talk and get into the swing of things, you listen to what people say. You don't really feel. Now, to a 3, 4-year-old, being as though language is new, their feelings, or your feelings, still override what they hear. This is why it's important that we pay attention to our emotional state when we're dealing with the children, because the real young ones, it's a process going from communicating in feeling to communicating in language. So it's a deep thing. We have to pay attention to every aspect of life. We view things as, oh, that's just what happens. Children learn to talk. But before talking, they're still communicating, and it's a matter of feeling. But everyone has to learn how to feel again. See, we cut ourselves off from our feelings. Now, I know a lot of people will say you can't cut yourself off from your feelings. Truly, you can try to ignore them, but you can't cut them off. And it's a deep thing. You can't cut them off, but it's deep. Grasp this. See, feelings are delicate. They're easily bruised. They're easily hurt. Now, feelings, they're your emotions. So, your emotional state can easily be riled. Your feelings, your emotions are delicate, easily hurt. Your feelings are easily hurt. And being as though this is the case, men build force fields of the different energies around their hurt emotions or feelings. So it's like we use one emotion as a force field of energy. We use the energy of certain emotions as a force field for other emotions that are vulnerable or hurt. So it's like love. If your love's been hurt, you may use the energy of hate or anger to kind of block your love so that you don't fall into love as easy. So it's like, it's a deep thing. If you anger fast, You may try to do exercises where you pull for happy thoughts and the happy energies to become a force field around that vulnerability. So it's a deep thing when you begin to get an understanding of feelings. My wisdom, the knowledge that I have, it comes from my ability to feel. It's a very deep thing. I'm aware of energies and feelings in aspects of life that men don't pay attention to. So being as though I'm aware, I'm connected. I tap in to those different aspects of life through deep feeling. And I grasp so much. So a lot of my wisdom and knowledge comes from deep feeling. Y'all have to understand, it's like you tap in or you're connected to what you're aware of, are the things that you choose to lock in on. So many of you are aware of the new gossip and different things like this, so you're connected to that. And you can get a feeling when there's something new up, and it's an interesting thing, but it's a real thing. And if you're deep into gossip and rumors and the blog sites that deal with this, you know what I mean. You like, yeah, I sometimes get a feeling like, yo, something gonna go down. Because this is what you locked into. These are the energies you're locked into the life, and it's a deep thing. The more you focus on certain things, you can lock in to what we would call supernatural abilities. But it's truly not supernatural. There's many talents and abilities that we all have that we don't get a chance to use or expound on or blossom. I'm trying to find the correct word, but there's many talents that many of us have, but being as though we live in the system that we live in, you're not free to really spread your wings and see all of your great abilities. So it's a deep thing. But I learned from feeling. Now some of you may still wonder, like, how? It's a simple thing. See, feelings interpret your perception of a thing. It's a deep thing. The way you feel will interpret your perception of a thing, how you receive from a thing. So if you love someone, all they do is good. So hence the expression, they can do no wrong. So it's like the feeling of love overrides anything that this person does. It makes you biased in a sense. It interferes with true understanding. Same with hate. If you hate someone, your perception of them will be through that energy, and it will interfere with you fully grasping. So it's a deep thing. It's like you have to understand feeling and how it can intercede with your perception of a thing. You have to adjust, balance your emotional state when you're dealing with anything. You have to let morality be the foundation of all decision, all thought, anything dealing with anything. Let morality be the root. So it's a very deep thing. I learned from feeling, deep thought. The more you lock into a thing like trees, the sun, the different forces and energies of life that are unseen but manifest into the physical. So we do see them physically, but we don't really pay them any mind in their unphysical states. Like anger. Anger is an emotion. It manifests physically in things like negative words, all the way to murder. So it manifests out differently on different levels depending on how heightened the feeling of the emotion is how it will manifest out physically through the physical things in the life. So it's many unphysical things that manifest out physically through physical things or just plain old physically. So it's a very deep thing, like fear. You have to just get an understanding of the many different emotions. I can feel the different energies around me. Sometimes I can identify what some of them would be if they were physical at the moment that I'm feeling them. So it's a very deep thing you have to understand when you're dealing with feeling and energies. You have to understand that the sun itself, the moon as well, are energies first and foremost. Before anything you want to classify it as. It's energy. And it's a very deep thing you have to grasp. That's the most powerful energy we have around us. So your energy, different emotions are energy. You have many different forms of energy. The sun, the moon, these are our greatest in our environment. So to think you can't pull wisdom from it, many different ways, not just feeling, but that's one of the ways I pull knowledge, being as though I'm getting good with this universal understanding and being tapped in, and just truly getting the understanding of life, taught directly to me by life. That's what makes it so much more. It's a deep thing. It's all experience and feeling. And not getting lost into any one particular feeling, but being God, so to say, of the emotion and just using all as a tool to grasp. It's a deep thing. It's your main man, Solace. That's the universal sign of the rising of the sun. It's the setting of the sun. Peace and wisdom. Grasp.